Hello, everyone. How do you feel about money? And specifically, how do you feel about spending, especially for spending on yourself? Now, let's take some hypothetical examples to really get you in the mood. You want to buy something, and let's say it's a significant purchase, like a car or like moving, right? And then um, you have the initial price of the down payment. And then so it's a pretty hefty sum, right? And then on top of that, you're going to have monthly payments. And on top of that, you're going to have interest on those monthly payments. And, depending on your term, you're going to be paying this fixed large amount for like something months. Now, when you think about that, on top of your other expenditures, like your rent or your mortgage payment or your healthcare or the subscription services that you have, how do you how does that make you feel as you think about your expenditures that are ongoing on a regular basis? Now, let's say you want to start a new hobby, and then the new hobby requires new basic equipment, okay? And then you need some education and training, okay? And then you need to join a gym or a workshop or whatever, so you need to pay registration fees, and on top of that, a recurring monthly fee for the membership, and so on and so forth. Now, as you think of this situation where money just keeps needing to be spent, and then like it doesn't even have to end there. You're gonna have groceries, right? Or you're gonna eat out on one day. And then you spend money on that. Now when you get the credit card bill and it's like pretty high, higher than you expected, how does that make you feel? If it makes you feel stressed out, if it makes you feel like kind of a grimacing, then you might have what I call the reservoir money mentality. And now, what is this like? Why the reservoir? Let's dig into that. What's the source of the discomfort? Like, why feel uncomfortable when, like you think about money? Why not buy a new Mercedes today? Well, the response to that is, how am I going to be able to afford that? Because there's nothing stopping you from making the purchase, right? And you'll have it, but then like paying for it is the problem. So how am I going to be able to afford that? That's the big question. And more importantly, that is the unanswered question. How, because if you knew how you were going to finance it, then you would have no problem with it. For example, I have a full-time job. Because of that full-time job, I'm able to pay my mortgage. But now, suppose I get fired. Suppose I got let go. I got laid off. Now, then it becomes, this question becomes significant and important again, right? How am I going to afford this? And it is significant because, again, I do not know the answer to that. And now, when I don't know the answer to that, what is that another representation of? We normally tend to think of our money as a pool, as a reservoir. And it's like, in terms of, federal money, it's literally called the Federal Reserve, right? So you have this fixed pool of money, and not only is the container size more or less fixed, this input is also more or less fixed in the form of paychecks. But now, because this is fixed, when you think about taking the water from here and putting it in other places, you're always aware of the possibility that this can go dry at some point. And that is a scary feeling. Because just like water, when this money pool runs out, there is a threat of survivability. Because a lot of modern, like livelihood depends on you having money. And the reservoir mindset is not just limited to money. If you are food scarce, you will think of food in this way because you don't know how you're gonna procure the next amount of food that's gonna come your way. If you are housing scarce, housing is also going to feel this way because you don't know how you're gonna sleep tonight. So, working with this limited pool of anything is basically the reservoir mindset. So, now that we motivated this problem, how do we get around it? What's a different relationship with money that you can have that is not the reservoir system? And that is what I call the streaming money model. So what's in the streaming model? Streaming model works a little bit differently. Streaming model doesn't start with your pool of money. Now, the traditional reservoir model of the money starts with the pool, and then you have expenditures. So you take a little bit out of the pool, and then you have your monthly paycheck, and then it adds a little into the pool. But it's all about the pool. The pool is like what's there, and you're kind of there to just observe it. The pool is in control of your money. But now, the streaming mindset works a little bit differently. It starts out with the desire first. And I assume there's no money. So, I want to buy first class tickets to Australia for my 10-year anniversary next year. It's gonna be pretty expensive, but 10 years of marriage, I think that deserves a pretty big celebration. So, I am going to make money for that. Now, I start with this desire. And now, I answer the question, how do I afford that? Now, because I don't have a reservoir already, now I can purely focus on the problem solving part. How do I make money? Now, I have a system called the 3-problem method. So I am going to make money using that. And when I use the 3-problem method, I can make money with not just a small stream of money, like small, like $5 deals that I offer to people. Occasionally, I have $50 incomes. Occasionally, I have $200 deals come in. Occasionally, I have $1,000, $2,400, $3,000 purchases that other people get from me. But I am in charge of what I put out to the market, and as long as I am in focus with what I can provide to the world, and I'm aware of what other people want from the world, I can happen to make those two meet together in the middle, and then a financial transaction happens. And I get the money. But the thing is, the money that I get, I don't just put it in a reservoir. Because I started out with the intention of I am going to purchase first class tickets to Australia. So, the money gets spent. So now, you may think that this is a zero sum, right? I end up with nothing. No, but no. I, through this experience, get training and repetition and skill development in making that amount of money. And moreover, the programs and the offers that I put out into the world may still be active. So while my purchase is complete, money may be continuing to flow in through me. That's attractive, right? So I am in charge of the money-making process. And there's nothing that just sits here. And when there's nothing that sits here, and I'm just in control of the money that comes in so that it can go out with my desires, money becomes a joyful thing that allows for a lot of the things that I want in this world. Money becomes a means for me to interact with the world, for me to give out things into the world, and for me to get things out of the world. And that is happy money, in my opinion. So, if you're interested in not being miserable with money, the streaming money mindset can be a good opportunity for you. But now, eventually, everybody comes to the same question, right? The question that you already have. So, how do I make the money? I don't know how to make the money. But as a life coach, I can tell you that when people say, I don't know, people do know, but they just don't believe that the answer is correct. And so they don't try it out. So that's what my program is for. If you're interested in working with the streaming model of the money so that you can make your dreams come true and have a lot of fun with it, join my program called Santa's Workshop. It opens in December, but the registration is open from now until the 21st of November. And then in December, I'm not only going to teach you about the more details around the streaming model of money, I'm going to help you use the three problem method. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm literally going to do live demos. And I'm going to host co-working workshops so that all the participants can do it with you all together. And we're going to bounce ideas off of each other. You would ask, would you buy this from me? If so, why not? You would have these interactive sessions where you get a lot of feedback so that you can have control over your money making processes.